Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, minister and hypnotist, and welcome to Power Talk, my video blog where I cover topics that interest me, but always focusing on how you can use the power of your mind to take control of your life. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free Substack newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag in the description. If there is something in your life that you feel is out of control, using hypnosis can turn that around. Well, are you tired? You may be. People really don't get the kind of sleep these days that they used to. Very likely, your sleep isn't as good as you might hope. It's what's sometimes called junk sleep. In extreme cases, you can wake up in the morning and not even be sure that you've slept at all, and you don't feel refreshed. Now, one issue about this might be our tendency to use electronics toward the end of our day. There is a claim that the light in the blue wavelengths that comes off computer screens or smartphone screens or tablet screens actually prevents the brain from relaxing enough to get decent sleep. Some phones and computers and tablets actually have a nighttime setting which turns down the blue frequency, but all that said, as far as I can see, there's really debate about whether blue light is all that big a problem or not. You can find people who appear to have really poor sleep hygiene, but who are productive and happy, and that's an additional confound. I recall reading an article when I was a boy. I couldn't legally do this. I had to sneak into the drugstore and over to the magazine rack where the Playboys were. I remember reading in Playboy magazine an article about the founder of Playboy, Hugh Hefner, who had no regular bedtime. When he was tired, he would sleep, and he would just sleep until he woke up. He was even quoted as saying that sleep, that's something the animals do. Now, according to everything we know about what makes good sleep, this is bad. You're supposed to have a pretty standard rising and retiring time. During sleep, our brain is actually quite active. In sleep, we process events, allow our motivations to clarify, feelings to settle. That's why people who are dealing with emotional issues are sometimes hypersomnic. They sleep a lot. They seek that because the sleep is actually helping their mind heal. And there's a lot of wisdom in the old folks saying, sleep on it, when dealing with things that are stressful for the same reason, because often after a night's sleep, issues seem simpler. If you do not get good sleep, you become more prone to making mistakes, you become more irritable, and you will probably even gain weight. Sleep deprivation increases your production of a hormone called ghrelin, which is produced by your stomach and signals your brain that it is time to eat. But it's so easy to get this wrong. Quite apart from the blue light thing, human beings today live with much more stress than we were ever evolved to handle. As far as can be determined by examining ancient skeletons, our bodies have not evolved much since the late Stone Age. Our neurological system gets overwhelmed in our time and tends to overfocus on negative things or negative worries and fears because we are being bombarded by the 24-hour news cycle and the pace of our civilization. That keeps everyone from sleeping well. Now, there are some popular hacks. I mean, be sure you have a good mattress and bed clothing that you find comfortable. If you're light sensitive, you might need blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Try to avoid alcohol in the evening, as the alcohol is processed by your body as sugar. Sugar creates energy, which might wake you up. And of course, hypnosis can help too. In fact, improving the quality of sleep is a standard goal that my clients have. If the problem is simple, if you are just distracted or preoccupied, hypnotism can help you a lot. If the problem is more complex, well then a hypnotic protocol with more sophisticated work might be needed, which will take longer, but it will work. Personally, in my spiritual life, I'm a contemplative. I practice what is called contemplation every day for at least 20 minutes, usually when I get to bed. Now, contemplation as I do it is a kind of centering prayer, sort of like repeating a mantra and being mindful. But it really helps me unwind at the end of the day and helps me turn off the voice in my head. So for me, my hack to getting good sleep is to do contemplation as the last thing I do in bed before I turn out the light and roll over. So prioritize your sleep. You will have to experiment to find what works for you, because in this matter, what works for one person may not work for another. Indeed, there are some people who actually seem to thrive on what's called divided or bicambrial sleep. And there's evidence, actually, that this was once common in a time when people didn't have a light of artificial lighting at night. There are old journals from colonial times that talk about the first and the second sleep. That as you go to bed, sleep for a time, then you wake up and you do something else, and then you go back to sleep. We don't do this very much anymore, but it does work for some. According to the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, last year in fact, one easy hack is to get in bed earlier than usual. You may sit there feeling awake and not sleepy at all, but you will eventually relax if you're in bed and will fall to sleep in most cases. And in most cases, if you do that, you will get longer and better sleep than if you had gone to bed on time. So that's something to try too. So experiment and see. But in all cases, see if you can hack your sleep hygiene to get a good night's rest. It's a really important thing for your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual resilience. Thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject, and I'd like to invite you to join me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, it helps me a lot if you tell others about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You are welcome to subscribe to my Substack using the buttons you'll find on this post or on my website. And if you're wondering if I can be of help to you, consider attending one of my online classes or working directly with me. Feel free to reach out through my website for a free, no obligation meet and greet call, and we'll talk about it. Have a great week.